Good morning. Let's go see outside. There is one area in my life where pretty much my whole life, if anybody started talking to me about something in this area, that's when I would glaze over and I would do the trying to be polite and listen, and yet I am completely checked out. That area probably is the one area in my life I really could have used somebody in it with me to hold my hand and help me step into it. And that is the area of spirituality, self-awareness, not in the cliche, grab any book off the library shelf in the self-help section way, in a very real, intentional, daily practice sort of way. That's the topic that I would have, maybe humored you with what you're so excited about, and yet I'm not interested in that. I'm like, of the earth, on the feet, in the ground, let's make people laugh. All the while beating myself up internally with some voice that tells me how much I suck. Barbara Walters, here she is. Barbara Walters, my bad. Dorothy Walters. She scares me. Dorothy, you scare me. And I am going to reach out to you, and I'm going to send you an email, and I am going to trust in the flow that you will email me back and we can have a conversation. Because this work of this woman, what it is doing is putting words and the ability to articulate some of what I have been going through and experiencing in the last few months in, a tangible little book here that you can hold in your hands. Here's the best thing about Dorothy Walters and her work, y'all. She talks about this awakening. The awakening that she references, she had when she was 53 years old. She is now in her 90s, and she is still producing amazing content all the time. This is the point. It's never too late, period. And that's really nice when we can feel a little crazy sometimes, I think, especially in our culture. It feels crazy to sit here and get on camera and tell the truth. What I want to know is, how can anybody look at this as insane when every day we turn on the news or turn on the whatever we're looking at, and we can pretty much count on the fact that it is anything but the truth. This is a conundrum that I don't understand. When I talked about being reborn, that little clip here, let me roll that for you. I really feel like we almost have to, this is gonna sound weird, we almost have to give birth to ourselves. Kundalini, like a human lover, Kundalini can be tricky and unpredictable. But unlike the human, it does not leave, for it is the ultimate expression of you, yourself, the authentic you. It has been abiding there, waiting in your subconscious all this time, like a serpent at the base of your spine. And now it, the source, the reality of who you truly are, rises into conscious awareness. And you know it is his ultimate connection with what we call the divine. It's God with many names. We talk about in the world of recovery often the God of your understanding. God, I know, is loaded and it can just make people shut down in an instant. It's unfortunate. God is the all, the big you, the fill in your blank, God of your understanding. I don't know, it took me years to not be hung up on the God word. 12 years of Catholic school will do that to you. You now realize that you are an infinitesimal particle in this vast ocean of being, and in fact do not exist as a separate identity. This realization is called enlightenment, and some are very angry when they discover their reduced state. You will not remain in such an exalted condition forever, but you have had a taste of a glimpse of what enlightenment consists of. Your job now is to return to the mundane, the familiar world, and to learn to exist in it, carrying your new knowledge. Indeed, you must now learn to walk in the two worlds, a task that is not always easy to bear. Tell me about it. I just want to float. I just want to float. You are now ready to undergo profound transformation as every molecule and cell of your body is being transformed into a new configuration through the alchemy of turning the base metal of the human into the gold of divine being. You are, in fact, being reborn in the most profound way possible, and birth is not a painless process. I cannot help but smile, because if somebody had read this to me, I'd be like, okay, crazy town, next. That's okay, we get what we get when we need to get it. One thing that Dorothy mentioned in these interviews with her that I was watching yesterday, and I will put links to all of the things that I mentioned in this video, I'll put underneath the video in the description for you. If you want to check her out yourself, what a joy, what a joy. What Dorothy said is, it is such a gift to have even one friend when diving into these new lands, which for me is very new. Which is hilarious. If you knew my mother, you would be like, how could that be new? Isn't this your whole life? And I'm going to bring Mom on here. I'm going to bring Mom on coffee soon. When I was watching Dorothy in her interviews and just finding her more and more magnificent with every word that escaped her sweet mouth. One of the things that she said is how important it is to have a friend, to have somebody who is going through this stuff with us, who we can share our excitement and thrill and what we're learning and seeking and discovering and all of it. And I have a friend like that, and I am so grateful. Shawna, Present Grace Healing is her Facebook page. So I texted Shawna when I was watching Dorothy's interviews yesterday, and I loved her response. I said, Shawna, I had to take a break and share this with you, because she says, if you can have a friend, even one friend who you can share this stuff with, that is very important. And then I said, am I crazy? Is she? Are we? Is this shit real? And Shawna wrote back, I'll watch later, and I'm 100% certain it's real. We are crazy according to society because the dominant perception is not real. It's a matrix. Shawna, you rock. The others of you who are listening and playing with me here, thank you. It is just one heck of a ride, y'all. It's very exciting now. What I would love to know from you, have you ever experienced any sort of awakening? The language is so overdone and overplayed. I think that's what scares people, because it's loaded with a bunch of, you know, stereotypes and commercialized, all that stuff. I'm talking about the true awakening, where you're stepping into a new way of looking at yourself in the world. I just want to know what that was like, what inspired it. Please comment below and let me know, because I am so curious to know of other people's experiences with this stuff, because it is mighty juicy. Thanks for watching, y'all. See you soon.